Hello everyone and welcome to today's Delkim Live. Hello. First of all, big apologies for yesterday's shambles. What can I say? All sorts of technical issues yesterday. I've gone back to the software that I was using previously. So hopefully that helps make things a little easier. And turns out my son was trying to stream a movie at the same time, so that would be half the problem, as well as having problems with my iPhone trying to get it to work. So all in all, ever so sorry. Not the best yesterday. Hopefully things are a lot better today. I've set things up a little bit nicer, so we can see what's going to happen, and we will definitely revisit what we did yesterday, which was sensitivity, setting sensitivity and response on the old ones and the new ones, and also looking at the beat speed, because it was important and it did show the clear differences between the old system and the new one, and the benefits of the new one over the old one, and also helping you how to set your alarm. So I want to do that. I want to make sure today works well, and then I'll make sure that we revisit that, and I'll probably do that tomorrow night, and we'll give that a proper good one. Okay, so today we are doing about accessories, okay? How to fit the accessories to your alarms, what ones you need, whether you've got the old ones or the new ones, how to fit them, just a simple how-to video to make sure everybody's clear on what they have to do and why, and then that's there for history and everybody can see what's going on. So if you're unclear on accessories, not sure how to fit them, or having problems using them, or connecting, whatever it is you need to connect to, then today's the day. So we will crack on. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got here. So let me switch to our little view that we've got here, so hopefully you can see that. Let me just make sure everybody can see what we've got. Okay, so can you see I've got everything set up here? So the first things we need to do, right? Okay, I've got a standard alarm here. Let's show you there. So it's a standard plus alarm, and then I've got a txi-d here as well. So we're going to work on the standard plus first, but this could be any alarm. It could be a original txi. It could be a original standard, EV plus, anything from the plus range. It's all the same. Okay, so the accessories that I'm going to fit will work with all of them. So let's just make sure everybody can hear me. So give me a good thumbs up if you can hear me and everything's okay and everything's coming through as it should, and then I will continue. If you just joined us, we're going to look at fitting of accessories. So we're on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook today, so I'm trying to keep things in the center so our Instagram people can see it, but it looks like it's all good. So thank you very much, Stephen Fuller and Danny on YouTube. Everybody can hear me, everybody can see. So let's crack on. So first things to know, okay, if you're going to, let's start with the d-loks, and you're going to need one of these. Okay, this is a d-lok. This is the original d-lok in the yellow packaging, and that is specifically for everything that isn't part of the new digital range. So if it's not a txi-d and it's not an EVD, you need one of these on your alarm. So if you've got a plus range alarm, there we go, plus range alarm, whether it be an EV or a txi or a standard plus, or you've got the old txi or standards, you need this one with the yellow packaging. The same goes for our safety carbon snag bars. Okay, yellow packaging. These are the original ones that fit the older type alarms. Okay, so let's start. So what do we get in the pack? And then we'll go in there. So let's open up. By the way, there are instructions in these things, but you know, sometimes people don't read them, but everything is in there for you to see and do this, but it's always good to have a video. So what have we got here? So let's put this out on the thing. So this is our, what we call our shoe. So this is the part that goes in the alarm. This is the foot part. So this is the part that comes with, there's a bolt. So we've got the bolt, and that's the Allen key. Oh, hang on, let's not drop it. So we've got the Allen key, goes into the bolt, and that bolt goes into your foot part, and that's the bit that goes onto your pod or on your bank stick, and I'll do that bit in a minute. And then you've got these two little bits that you do not want to lose, and I hope I don't drop them while I'm doing the video. So we've got our spring, and we've got this little, I'll put that in my hand there, can we see? Got a little plunger pin, we call that. Okay, little pin. So what we want to do is, this is the top, that's the bottom, because that's the part that goes into, I'm trying to do it from the side here, I'm ever so sorry, it is focused. So that's the part that goes on to the bank stick, like that. This is the top. So first of all, we want to put our plunger pin and our spring in the item. So plunger pin goes in that way, if you can see, goes in that way with a little dome piece facing down. So we put that in that part there, so that's down, and you can just, you'll probably see that that is sitting, hanging out the bottom there. There we go. And then we put the spring in the top. So now that's ready to go in our alarm. We've just put that to one side. I'll move that packaging. So what we need to do now is that we remove the battery door, and then we need to remove these two screws. So just get yourself a crosshead screwdriver, and then you just want to remove these two screws that hold what we call the bolt clamp, which I'll show you. We get asked this a lot. So this is the bolt clamp. This is the little plastic piece that oh, hello, Mr. Frank Warwick. How are we doing? Thank you for joining me. It's very interesting. Hello to everybody who's joining us. I'm looking at doing accessories and how to fit them. So hope you're all well and good. So this is our bolt clamp. So we took the two screws out here. This is our bolt. If we just pull this out, so now I've left the gap in there. That's where the bolt was. And this is the part called the bolt clamp. It's got a little hex part, and then the bolt sits in that, and it keeps it in place on the alarm. But we take them out and we put them to one side. We then get our little d-lok that's got the spring in. Now you can see, you want to hold that down with your thumb and push it flat. So push it, oh, I'm trying to do it at an angle here, it's very difficult. So you push it flat. You then want to locate it into this section where the bolt was. So you push it in, like so, so that the spring now sits in that compartment. I'll do that again because I had it out of shot. Brilliant. So in there, hold it down, push that in. Can you see that? That's the little spring sitting there. That's it. Okay, so that spring is now compressing that little silver bullet, little plunger pin, and that gives you the click effect when you put it into the d-lok. So you would then tighten up your screws, tighten them down, away. You can use obviously electric screwdriver if you wanted to. Just make sure you've got the right head on it until you don't burr the screws. Okay, don't tighten them down too far. You just want them to be flush because you want to be able to put the battery door over it. So you don't want them sticking up at all, but you don't want to clamp them down and strip the threads. In any time you're doing screws, you know, you want to use the right screwdriver. You want to just put them so they're tight. That's now flat across there, and you don't want to be stripping threads by really cranking it round, and you don't want to burr the heads over so you can't get stuff out. We do see stuff certainly on the safeties where the screws have been put in so hard that they've gone through the plastic. And then you just put your battery door in like so. Oh, there we go. So now that's in place, and the battery door sits flat. You can see that's sitting flat, and now that's in there. So what we'll do then is we'll take our little bank stick. I've got a little mini one here, little sawn off jobby, and then we want to, we do it how we would do it on the bank. So put your Allen key in, and then you want to screw that down. I'm trying to do it. It's because I'm left-handed, you see, cack-handed. So then you tighten that down. Okay, you want that that reasonably tight, because this is the bit you don't want to move. So you get that lined up wherever you want it on your pod, on your bank stick. So you get that square, and then you tighten it down, and that's then the alignment and how that's going to be aligned on your bank stick or pod. And then it's just a case of you just push the two items together. I should have the camera on the other side. So they just push together, that's it. And you can see there that when the D-lok's in place, it keeps the battery door in place, because that battery door can't go anywhere now with the D-lok. It keeps it in place, so it provides a stop. And then to get them apart, you just pull it apart. So that's that click as the plunger pin sits in the slightly recessed bolt there, and then that just clicks in, and then that's the D-lok fitted on a plus range alarm. One thing to note is that it comes, if you see here, it comes pre-fitted with the duo carb wire form. So if you have the old style duo carbs, so that's I've got an ES there. Let's see that, focus on that. So I've got an ES, and that just clips on the front. So it's like a neat way of fitting the hangers. So that just clips on the front. If you buy the newer ones, the slim carbs or the nightlight indication sets, then you're going to need to use this wire form that's in the pack. So that's for the slimmer one. So, and to remove that, if you just get your slim carb and you just put it through the front of there, or let's do it with that one. If you just put it through the front there, it's carbon, and then you can just lift it off and it just pulls out. So now I've removed, and if you weren't using any of our hangers at all and you just didn't want that bar in there, you can just remove that wire form, put it somewhere safe, because you never know when you might use it or need it, and then you just put the narrower one in there and then just push it down to make it firm, and now you've got the ability to use the slimmer slim carb arms. Okay, so that's fitted nicely to a alarm, and that's the same for, once again, let me just say, it's the same for an old standard, an old TXI, an EV plus, a standard plus, or a TXI plus. Okay, that is how you fit. Just take a drink. That's how it's all fitted. Okay, so it's simple. So what we'll look at now is how to put the snag ears on. So we'll need to remove the D-lok. Just another little note: always remove the alarm first from the base. This is the base, the foot, before, you know, when it's on the bank stick. Don't unscrew it from the bank stick and then take it off, because what will happen is, if you unscrew it and you just left the bolt, you've got no force to pull the foot out and end up with it stuck. You've got to have it screwed to something to be able to pull it apart. Okay, so that's just a note there. One other little note, and this goes for whether it's old or new, is that if you're looking to use somebody else's hangers or a swan neck or something underneath, then you just put it in between there and then clamp it down and screw it down there. And that's how you do it. You just put it underneath as you would as if it was underneath the alarm as normal. We do a longer bolt for these, and it's a 5mm longer, so if you want to add other stuff in there, you know, there are limitations to how much you're going to be able to get under there, but if you've got somebody else's fitting, then you can put that under there, no problem at all. And a point of note is the feet, so this part of any D-lok is universal, whether it's a V2 or the old ones, the feet are universal. So if you've bought spare feet, or you've got, you know, you're going to keep the feet to use on the new one, you've got spare feet, because we do sell them spare anyway. So if you want to interchange and switch between single bank sticks and your pod, you can have extra feet and you just attach them, and then you can just interchange between however you want to do it. And just to also say, the force of the the D-lock, how easy it clips on and off, can be adjusted slightly by tightening or loosening this bolt. Obviously you need to have it tight so it doesn't move, but if you tighten it down more, you're effectively moving the bolt away from the plunger pin. So you're making that force of how it goes in slightly less. So if you're finding it very difficult to remove, then just tighten the bolt down a little bit. You know, don't bust it. You know, you've got to be, you know, don't just go mental and animal it, but you can tighten this down and it'll give you an element of adjustment. And if you are finding it particularly tight, certainly when they're first, you know, banding out the packet, they can be slightly tighter. Then maybe a little bit of oil, WD-40, just around this area here, just to allow it to go in and out. Oh, just caught my finger. Go in and out there, just so it's, you know, smoother, and then as it beds in. So what we'll look at now is fitting the safeties. So here's a safety. So again, for the older, anything that isn't the new digital alarms, look for the yellow banding, and that's the older sort. Okay, again, I'll remind you again, people are coming in and joining, if it's got yellow on it, it's for the older stuff. So this is the original version. Okay, original version. Do you do spare feet? Mark Taylor, you were not listening to what I was saying. The feet are the same, the feet are universal. So Mark, it's the same feet in the old D-lok and the new D-lok. There's no different in this part. It's the body or the shoe part, because it's a completely different moulding. So it's this part of the D-lok that's different between the first version and the new V2 version, because it's a completely different size of moulding. So it's a completely different shape at the bottom there, so we couldn't get a universal fitting. Okay, so feet are universal. Let's move on to the snag ears then, and we'll just see what you get in the pack. And again, there are instructions on how to fit them on there, but we'll go through it again. So in the pack, you get the uprights already fitted into the door, and these uprights are numbered, and they're numbered. Oh, can you see that? Probably not, it's not focusing. So let's do it the right way up. So you've got, no, that is the right way up. So you've got a number 1 and a number 2. So they're orientated. So they're put in there the right way around. You can put them in, for some reason, if you wanted to, you could put them in that way around if you had the thinnest rod in the world. But you can see there what's happened. Okay, they are orientated, so you want to make sure you've got them the right way around. And they do come, like, or if somebody's got them out the packet and put them in the wrong way around, then you want them so that they're the widest apart like that. Okay, and then you get 2 screws in the pack as well, and these are longer screws. Okay, these are slightly longer screws because they've got to go through the door and into the D-lok. These are only just got to go through the D-lok. So if you were fitting the snag ears, even without the D-lok, okay, this works both ways. So you can imagine this is a bolt here, or we've got the D-lok. You remove these 2 screws, and I'll just do that. And so I'm just removing that. So yeah, they're called the uprights. So with Stephen Fuller, I can't see that. They're called number 1, number 2. So if you ever have to get replacements, we do replacements on our website. And again, these uprights are universal. So they're the same for the new alarms and the old alarms. So the uprights are universal. So if you've got spare ones of these, they will go in your new D-loks. If you end up, new safety V2s on the new alarms if you lose them. But they are available from our website. They're £5 each, replacements if you lost them, once we get back up and running again, because everything's not on hold at the moment. So we've taken those 2 screws out, so you can see there. Let me just put them on the desk, and so you can hopefully see the difference. Probably not that obvious from where I am. Let's try and get that a bit closer. Maybe I'll put that in my hand and put one against the other. try it that way up, see if you can see. So they are slightly longer. So that one there is the one that comes with the safety, there we go, and that's the one that's comes with the alarm as standard. So this one's slightly longer. Okay, you don't want to be putting the longer ones in when you've just got the D-lock only or the bolts. Okay, so we then just slide on our battery door. I've kept the uprights on here, probably not the best idea, but so we can just slide on our battery door, and now that is in place. And the good thing about the safety is because the screws are going through it, it's perfectly solid. So if you weren't using the D-lock, then if you had the bolt, then this battery door can't move now, because as soon as I put those screws in, it holds the battery door in place. So again, it's a nice little accessory. So it gives you a very rigid battery door. The D-lock helps keep the door in place because it sits in underneath, but with the safety, it's physically held in with the screws. So again, you just want to tighten them down. And you just want to tighten them so that they're just going flush. You can see, well, hopefully you can see, let me take that one out so you can just see, it's recessed in there. So all you're trying to do is just put the screw so it just sits in that little recess. Again, you do not want to over tighten in plastic. Plastic makes its own, these screws make their own thread in the plastic, but if you tighten them down and you really go at them, you'll strip the thread. So just as it starts to tighten up, that's it, that's done. So that's fitted now. They're flush across there. They don't need to go any more than that. You can see the door is flush in there. I've got the D-lock in there as well. I can take the uprights off, so when I'm putting the alarm away and I put the cover on, which I haven't got with me, I haven't got a cover, and then you can see how it works. Fits in the back there. I've got it on. So I've got my safety back on there, and I've got my D-lock fitted, and I just add my uprights as required. Okay, effectively you only need one upright because it's only going to go one way or the other depending which way you're fishing, but most people have both in at the same time. But yeah, it's there, you can add them or not as the case may be. So that is how to add the accessories to the older style alarms. So that's your safety and that's your D-lock, and once again, just to cover it, I know this is a bit like sucking eggs, but it reinforces what we're trying to say is you need the ones with the yellow band, okay, and that's the old safety and the old D-locks, and they will fit the original range 1992 to 2003, and they'll fit all the plus range, so 2003 up until June 2019, and they're the ones you want. So hopefully that answered that one. So we'll move on to our newer alarms. So this is my txi-d. So it comes with it doesn't come with the bar. The bar comes with the bar comes with your hangers if you buy them, but this is how it would come, not with a nice little yellow sticker on it, but that's one of my test ones. So plain door, 2 screws in there, and comes with your bolt and locking ring as always. Okay, and then you also get with every digital alarm a little screwdriver. So this is a Phillips screwdriver. So the thread, the head is slightly different on these ones than on the older ones. So make sure you get the right screwdriver crosshead on the old ones, and this comes with the screwdriver. It's just about right. You can just about get enough force because you can't over tighten it. So it's actually quite good. You don't need to worry too much about getting a big screwdriver on it. And then once again, to emphasize, these are the ones you need, V2. So for the new digital alarms, whether it's a EVD or the txi-d, you want V2s. Okay, V2s. And the same goes for the safeties. It's the V2 versions. If you can see that, V2 is what you need for the new alarms. So we will fit, and we'll get out the packet what we've got with the D-lock. So we've got all the same little bits and pieces that you'd expect. So there's our our foot, and you can see it's the same. So that's the foot that came out of the V2 one, and just to show you that I'm not making it up, that's the foot that came out of the other one. So as I said, if you've got spare feet, you can still use them with your newer alarms, but you have to sell them as a kit with a foot and a shoe, so that if somebody buys it from you, they've got what they need. This is the bit that's different. So this is our shoe. So you can see it's a different design, different fitting here. Hasn't got the wire form. It hasn't got the wire form built in, because that goes into the front of the alarm. Okay, the two holes in the front of the alarm are for your little wire form. He says, trying to poke it in. There you go. So you just push that down, and then you fit your wire form to the front of the alarm, not to the D-lock, and you can just remove that as you wish. So same thing applies to these. You've got your little pin goes dome down, so the little dome bit pokes out the bottom, and then we've got our little spring, so that's all ready to go. You get your Allen key in there, of course, so you can adjust it onto your, screw it onto your pod or bank stick, and then we use our little screwdriver, and then we undo the screws, and they actually come out a little bit easier than the other ones, so they're not too bad. And then we remove our door, and then this is our bolt clamp in this version. So you can see there, that's the bolt clamp, slightly different design than the other one. It's smaller, and there's still the same bolt, still the same stainless steel bolt. And then you just use the same method, where you get your thumb and you squeeze the spring down, so you want to sort of get a little bit of it sticking out, sort of like that, if I can show you. So there's a little bit sticking out, because that's the bit that's going to tuck into the body of the alarm. So we do that, we push that in, and now the spring is in that cavity there. Okay, I know I've done this a lot, and it might be more difficult for some people than others, but that's in there, and then you've got that's spring loaded now, as you can see. And then we just put our door back on, and then we screw it up, and away we go. And that's how simple that one is. It's just D-lock on there. The screws are on the outside of this one, so you know, it's just quite easy. And again, the screwdriver that comes with it is quite good, because it doesn't allow you to over tighten it. It's just the right balance, and then that's fitted on there. And then I can fit that to my stick. Same. Okay, so it just pulls apart, pushes in, pulls apart. Now for the snag ears, it's going to be a similar, but there's no extra screws this time. So, excuse me. So again, V2, keep reinforcing. If it's black and it's got V2 on it, it's a different style. You can see there's a completely different style of packaging for these ones. So this is for the digital range, EVD, txi-d, I keep reinforcing it, and these are for the older ones. So V2 version. So there we have our V2 back. So it's a different back. You see it's not just a single flat door, it's a sort of U-shaped piece, and there's our fitting from there. And they're not fitted in that one, so you need to make sure when you put them in, you put them in the right orientation. As I say, you want to put them so that they splay outwards, not inwards. So there's a bigger gap there. You'll tell when you've done it wrong, because I'll do it again just to let people know. Too tight. Okay. So same, get your screwdriver, just undo that, put them in there, put them in there, and undo that. And again, you can use, you don't have to have the D-lock with the safety, and vice versa. You have whatever combination you like. If you just want the upright, the carbon arms, sorry. So you just replace the door with that door. It's the same principle, just slides in there, and you just screw it up, and there you go. And again, don't over tighten. Just, you can see it on that one. It's the same. You can just see they've got a little recess in there where the screw just sits in. The nice little recess. It's the same on the door there, and that just sits in there, and then that's done. So there we go, fitted. Add your uprights as necessary, clip it on your bank stick as you need, and that's it, all fitted to a txi-d. Same would be for an EVD, it's exactly the same, there's no difference. So V2s for the new ones, I keep reinforcing it, V2s, and then the yellow band, the original ones for the old alarms. Okay, so hopefully that shows you how simple it is to fit those bits and pieces. And again, we get people, this is critical here as well. If you're using our hangers, you need the wire forms that come in with your hangers to go underneath. Don't use the old bases and try and fit them underneath, because they won't. It's not how it works. So you just put the wire form in those two holes in the front there, and that's where you clip your hanger to. I'll put it in again just to reinforce it, because I get this nearly every day from people. And there you go. Oh, that's on there, and that's fitted, so it's nice and neat. So where are we? Oh, so that's how to fit the accessories. I've gone through both lots there. That should be fairly self-explanatory. Everything seemed to work. Hopefully that has been of some use to you guys. Let me just have a quick flick through, see if there's anything I can see questions wise. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I know I do appreciate it. I'm trying to keep things going as best we can. Hi to everybody. I've gone straight into stuff tonight, but hopefully everything's been working tonight and you've all seen what's going on, and the quality of the filming's been better. Oh, we've got an American friend. Hello, Alfredo. Hello, how you doing? It's okay, Frank's well. Good, thank you. Glad he's with us. Nice to see somebody else. Yep, d-loks. Bill Shortland. I have to say the d-lok, is probably the best accessory that we do. It's so neat that you can hardly see it underneath there. It's so neat and tidy, and just makes life so much easier just to put your stuff away and click it on and put it. It's such a neat, tidy little option. People don't even notice it. It's so useful. Yeah, what we got? Anybody? Let's have a look. Quick question before we go. It's just gone past the 7 o'clock. So, yep, can't wait to get on the bank and use my Delks. Yes, don't blame you, Stephen Fuller. I think there's a lot of people like that, but we're going to be a bit longer yet, I'm afraid. But we'll see. Tim Tadgel, hello. Hello, people on Facebook. Hello, people on Instagram. Hello, people on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. I've covered that question. What's this one? Can't see the numbers yet. Self-explanatory. Paul Sunley. A lot of mess around to change batteries. 2 screws just to undo it. And for the once a year you have to change them. So I would think that's pretty straightforward. You slide, if you don't like the safeties, then you just slide the door off. And the newer ones have got screws to just make sure it's secure and gets in place. Any product generally has a screw, battery door, screw on battery door these days. But fair enough, it's too much effort. Let's see. Anybody love my d-loks? How much does it cost to get them serviced? So, Paul Sunley. We don't do servicing. We fix faults. If you've got a specific fault, then please contact us directly, and then we can have a look to do that. We're not doing anything at the moment. Everything is suspended because of COVID. But once we're back up and running, 10 working days would be the time it takes to do those. So let me know what's wrong, and then we'll do it. Like a TV, you don't have a TV serviced. When it fails, you get it fixed. So that's how our alarms work. I think that's about it. If there are any questions on here, then we'll come back to them, and I'll have a look through this a bit later on. Hopefully you found that useful. Tomorrow I will go back over sensitivity, response, beat speed, getting that sorted for you. Okay, Paul Sunley, then if there's no faults, you keep looking after them and you don't need them serviced. That's it. No moving parts, don't need servicing. So tomorrow, sensing, response. I'll get myself sorted, get the camera sorted. This seemed to work okay tonight now, so I think we're back up and running, and we'll hopefully have a more interesting time than we did yesterday. I was a bit stuttery. So I thank you for your company. Hope it's been of some use. Hope you're well. Stay safe. Enjoy your evening, and we'll do this again tomorrow at 6:30. Thanks, guys. Take care. Good night.